if you could bet on the next president? Or how hot it'll be tomorrow? Or whether a celebrity couple will break up by the end of the year? Forget the bookie at the racetrack or card sharks in Las Vegas. Today, anyone with a phone can place a wager on almost anything happening in the world. Billions of dollars are pouring into a new kind of online marketplace called
prediction market.
Prediction market.
Prediction market.
Prediction market starting to influence earnings season.
Two companies are leading the charge. Let's take a look at the facts. Polymarket launched in 2020, built on cryptocurrency and a simple idea. Users could place what the platform called investments on the outcomes of real-world events, elections, wars, court cases, or anything with an uncertain outcome. A competitor wasn't far behind. Kalshi went live in 2021, and together these two platforms became the faces of a booming new industry. As gambling laws across the United States loosened over the last several years, prediction markets grew alongside the sports betting boom, pulling in massive amounts of money from users who increasingly saw current events as something to wager on. But government scrutiny came fast. In January 2022, in a settlement with the CFTC, it was agreed that the New York-based firm would cease its U.S. operations and pay a $1.4 million penalty. However, it later received CFTC approval in November 2025 after U.S. President Donald Trump returned to office and loosened the relevant regulations. Kalshi faced its own battle with the CFTC. But in October of 2024, Kalshi won in federal appeals court, clearing the path for event-based betting on a much larger scale. Not only did Trump relax the rules on prediction markets, his family has also taken a financial interest, launching Trump Media and Technology Group, which is developing Truth Predict alongside Trump's social media platform, Truth Social. Additionally, Donald Trump Jr., the president's son, was hired as an advisor to both Polymarket and Kalshi. While it's not clear whether Truth Predict will be a player in the predictive gambling scene, Polymarket and Kalshi have both surged into the mainstream while being at the center of several high-profile controversies. In March of 2026, an Israeli journalist named Emmanuel Fabian published a first-person account that shocked readers. After covering an Iranian missile attack near Jerusalem, he started receiving death threats. The threats were tied to a wager on whether unintercepted Iranian missile strikes would hit Israel that day. People with money on the line were threatening a reporter over his coverage of a war. Then there's the case that broke wide open in the spring of 2026. Days before the U.S. captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, a brand new Polymarket account placed roughly $35,000 in wagers connected to Venezuela. And when the capture happened, that same account walked away with over $400,000 in winnings. In April, the Southern District of New York unsealed an indictment identifying the bettor as Master Sergeant Gannon Ken Van Dyke, a U.S. Special Forces operator accused of using classified information to cash in. Polymarket referred the case to the Department of Justice and assisted with the investigation, citing new internal policies aimed at stopping insider trading.
We spotted 9 Polymarket accounts, all connected, who made collectively $2.4 million, betting almost exclusively on U.S. military operations.
The Maduro indictment wasn't the only red flag. In early April of 2026, several brand new Polymarket users placed well-timed bets right before the initial U.S.-Iran ceasefire was announced, raising fresh suspicions of insider trading, though as of May 2026, no charges have been filed. And then temperature spikes at a weather station inside Charles de Gaulle Airport were linked to specific Polymarket payouts. The theory? Someone used a hairdryer to alter the reported weather temperatures. The French Meteorological Administration has filed a formal complaint with police. Kalshi has also had its own scandals to deal with, suspending and fining congressional candidates who'd been caught betting on their own races. Are betting sites a success story with wagers on real-world outcomes, or does society need to re-examine its relationship with these new gambling sites? The techno-optimist narrative says prediction markets are a clear success story. Polymarket has moved from the fringes of crypto into the mainstream of traditional finance. Billions are flowing in. Growth continues year over year. Supporters argue these markets serve a real public function, aggregating information, surfacing insights the public would otherwise be locked out of, and democratizing forecasting for the average person. The techno-skeptic narrative tells a very different story. As the Times of Israel reporting showed, real users have already harassed and threatened a journalist over wartime coverage. What happens if one of them acts on those threats? And the Van Dyke indictment confirms what the Maduro case first suggested, that government insiders can use classified information to enrich themselves through bets on the very events they help shape. From this view, prediction markets aren't just a new investment vehicle. They're a destabilizing force, and governments still haven't figured out how to regulate them. Let us know in the comments, and visit Verity.news for more of the biggest stories.